So several years later, as I was preparing to become a full-time pastor myself, I sat down to coffee with my pastor, with Matt, and I just asked a question out of the blue. I said, Matt, what was the hardest thing you've done up until this point as a pastor? Like, what's the most difficult challenge you ever faced? And he chuckled, and he paused for a very, very long time. And he looked me in the eye, and he said, David, the hardest thing I've ever done is sit with you when your father went to prison. He went on to tell me that he had never felt so incapable, ill-equipped, unprepared, like he had nothing to give, that in that moment he had never felt quite so weak. And this, my friends, is the mystery of the good news of Jesus. That something about Matt's weakness expressed to grace to me in that moment of my need and my grief and my hurt became a literal doorway into the grace of God in my life. That something about his weakness expressed towards me in God's grace, and trusting that the grace of God is good enough and big enough and holy enough to make good. Something about his weakness became a pathway, a doorway for me to experience hope and good news. My friends, weakness opens doorways to God's mysterious grace. The good news gets loud when you and I surrender our control. My friends, what if Crossroads took this seriously? What if our lives begin to be patterned after the apostles that Paul talks about in 1 Corinthians? He says we work hard with our hands. When we are cursed, we bless. When we are persecuted, we endure it. When we are slandered, we answer kindly. My friends, what if in a world of control, of force, of artificial power, we assumed this apostolic posture? Not because we are some band of brave Stoics who can take it, but rather because this is how the world will most perfectly know the grace of Jesus through your weakness and through my weakness.